Hey guys, I want to talk to you before I go into other aspects of the Foundry interface. Um, the first thing I want to go over is file management and the file structure, because whether we're uploading scenes or creating actors or journal entries, anything that we're going to have to do mainly with images or sounds, things we're going to upload to the server that you find. Like, say you're going to prep a game and you've got a couple maps and you have a couple NPCs that you want to use and you have specific images for them, or you have some monsters or whatever, and you don't want to use the generic kobold or goblin. You want to find a pretty cool image for a goblin or something, something unique. You want to upload it to the world. uh, we're gonna go over in this video how to upload files, and how we're going to organize these files, because we're all sharing this world. And if we just upload willy-nilly randomly to things, it's going to get pretty chaotic. So let's just start here with creating a character, and or an NPC. Say we're going to create a monster, right? I was playing around with this earlier, so we can delete these things here from my previous video. So say we're going to create a new actor for a monster that we want to upload. Now, technically, we want to do this under monsters, right? Because we're going to keep this organized. So we're going to click on this little actor, add actor under monsters, and we're going to name it. Let's just say, I don't know, we'll say Goblin. Uh, Goblin Ninja, because it's kind of unique, right? And we're going to make it a non-player character. Now it's going to open up this screen. Now we can go ahead and build this out if you want to. If you have the stats from your PDF file and you want to run it from there, or you want to run something from D&D Beyond, you can, or you can like build out the stats in here. The one thing I would recommend doing is putting in the hit points that it has, like the average hit points. Say it has 23 hit points. Um, Health form here is basically the formula, right? So I don't know, what is that? 4d10 plus 3. We'll figure that. We'll see how that you know averages out. Um, okay, so I actually went and did the math, or went and looked it up. So the average on that's going to be about 25 to 26. So we'll just give it 25. We'll put that in there. Now, if you don't put this in there, every one of your, if you drag out multiple of them, they're all going to be 25. If you put this formula in here, it's going to roll for it every time. And I like that. I like, personally, it's a personal choice. I like rolling it for them. Uh, Anyways, we'll put that in there. If you want to put in the armor class and like all their other stats and what their, stuff, build out their features and attacks, we'll go over that in a different video. You can do that if you want. But you want an image for this token. You want to make it, you want to have a cool image for it. So we're going to click here on this little face icon, and it's going to bring up the file browser. We're going to, in this file browser here, uh, at the top we have two different sections, our core data and user data. User data is where we're going to upload things to. We'll go over core data later in the video, but if we're uploading an image, we're going to go under user data. You might be in a, like when you pull this up, it might be somewhere else. It might be in uploaded chat images or whatever. The first thing we're going to want to do is click on this up arrow and go all the way up to the top. And here, what we're going to want to do is we're going to look at this folder here. So the assets folder right here is what we're going to go under. We're going to want to go under this folder. The other folders under here we're not going to worry about. I'll go over a couple of them later, but when we're uploading images, we want to go into assets. Now under assets, I've gone ahead and made a folder for each of us who have expressed interest in DMing. And I made some generic images, maps, sounds. So there's some generic stuff in here, tokens that we can look at in here, and everything, images, maps. There's a few folders in here if you're looking for a map idea, you can browse through these. But you already have your goblin token, right? Let's go find a goblin token real quick. I'm gonna go over here to Google. We're gonna type in. What I do is I just in I just type in like goblin ninja, and then I always say 5e, right? So goblin ninja 5e, and then I go to images. Now we're gonna find some cool little images, like maybe this one. Maybe you want to do this one. That's a cool one, right? So now you'll browse through here, scroll through here, and let's find a cool one. That's more of a kobold, I guess, but swashbuckler, probably a bard, maybe. It's a goblin rogue. Maybe we want that one's got some text on it, so this is an important part of the step, right? We want to have this ready beforehand, but so we have this is where I find inspiration for them. Maybe we want this one. Let's choose this one. So I'm going to save it. I have a folder here where I put my folders. I'm going to name it Goblin Ninja. All right. So back in Foundry, say you did that already. So I'm going to go under tokens, and I'm going to, because I'm going to upload it as a token. Maybe I feel I don't want to put it in my own folder because it's a token that other people can use. I can just put it in tokens. If it's something you want to keep to yourself or whatever, you can put it in your folder. For now, I'm just going to go under tokens. Now, I want to talk about the display mode here. So these are different ways to view the files. This one is just a list view. It's going to show the name of the text. This one's going to show a little tiny preview and then the name. This is not always great. It sometimes cuts the images off if they're too big. This is a tile view, but you don't really see the name of it. And this is a bigger way to view the images. Typically, I go with this one or this one, but that's how you change that display mode. You can search for it if there's a lot of files in there. And say you wanted to search for, the bullywug, whatever, you can type it in there. But we're going to upload that image. So down here under upload, we're going to click browse to the folder that you have that image uploaded to, and select it and say open. And there we go. That's more of a portrait image, but that's okay. We can put it under here as well. Tokens, and then we're just going to say, we're going to click on it and say select file. So now we have this, and that's probably good enough. If we come over here and we see our Goblin Ninja under the Actors tab, and I drag it out over here to the to the map, it's going to show that. So actually, let's just go to the random battle mat. Link battle mat, right? So, if I drag this goblin out, it's going to show it. It's going to take up the whole. It's going to take up the whole square, and that's okay. Now I want to show you a little trick here for tokens specifically. So you have your character created. We're going to click prototype token. We're going to go under, right, and this window is going to pop up. We're going to go under appearance. If we click this button here, it's going to pull up this window. We're going to say choose image. Now we're going to have to browse our own hard drive again. It's not going to browse the server, it's going to browse our hard drive. So we're going to have save that image and choose that image. And then we can now come in here and choose a different frame. We can give it a different tint. Maybe we want it to be more black because it's a Ninja. And then, just kind of move it around. You can resize it the way you want to, if you want it big, small. It depends on the image you have. And then we're going to say, click on here, import. There's a little side note. It has nothing to do with the file management, and then say update. So now when you drag it out, it has that image there. So if you wanted to, if you already had a token, like a round token or whatever that you wanted to assign to it, you can do that. So that's basically the majority of it, is to say, let's just go all the way at the top, go to assets. I have my folder here. Under your folder, each one of you can make your own subfolders if you want. Images, I would say for like portraits, or like say you have an image of a boat or a castle, or something that you want to show, might be a good place for that. Maps are obviously, battle maps, stuff like that. And then tokens. You could do portraits and tokens all in the tokens. That's what I would do. Click browse. Um, there we go. So if you're creating a new scene, it's a very similar thing, right? We're going to say create scene. Uh, battle. We're not going to put it in a folder for now. We're just going to say create. Under background image, we're going to click this little button here. That's the browse for file image, browse files. And then we're going to go under assets, and I'm going to go to DM Joe, go to my maps folder, and I'm going to pick this map, or this map because it's better. And then I'll say save changes. And, that sets that as the background for that map. And I'm going to go over more of the scene and making sure they line up in a different video. But it's all about the where we store things, because maybe you want to reuse that later. I'm going to delete these for now just to clean it up. But where we store those files is important so we can find them later. And then so that way it doesn't clutter up. Like once like after we've all run an adventure or two, there's going to be a lot of images in here, and we don't want to just upload them anywhere. Now, some of these other folders that might be useful, DDB images and anything that like DDB Dungeons, D&D Beyond, our characters, any images from our character sheets will be in here. If you wanted to browse through them, that's where it just automatically uploads. Like when you import your character from D&D Beyond, and you put your image as a portrait on D&D Beyond, and that makes it there. That's where it's going to go. Player images, and the uploaded chat images are like when you copy and paste an image into chat. That's where it's going to go. So basically, we want to put it under user data. Now, let's talk about this core data stuff. These are images or files that are under core Foundry, core Foundry images. There's actually, for images, there's actually a lot of resources under here, under the icons folder. So when you click on core data, go to icons, there's going to be a lot of images under here, and they're separated, this way. So like commodities are going to be like, there's a couple things that are different, like claws might be considered a weapon, or bones, gems are going to be under here, and, materials for different things, um, weapons, stuff like that. That's under commodities anyways. So then under like consumables, you got fruits, grains, meats, mushrooms, nuts, plants, potions. all kinds of different things. Environment, you have wilderness, you'll have different icons in there. Traps, different traps. There's all kinds of stuff under here. Creatures is like bugs and fish and horses and stuff like that. People, some different icons for settlements. Under magic is a lot of really cool stuff. So like, for like death, there's just different icons for that. Now, where these come in handy is say you're creating an item or a spell. Mainly, it's going to probably be an item or a handout, right? So that you would create as a DM, and you wanted to give it, an icon. So like maybe you create a custom weapon, that probably we're going to do it in D&D Beyond, but maybe we want to do it in here, or maybe it's an item. Say our players kill a basilisk, you know, and that one of the players says, "Hey, I want to remove the basilisk eye," and they make a check, and you say, "Okay, you did that." So we're going to come over here under items, basilisk eyeball, um, and then under core data, commodities, biological, there's a bunch of eyeballs, right? You'll say, oh, which one of these looks best like a basilisk eye to me? You could choose this one, you could choose that one because maybe it's cat-like. I chose this purple one, and it's there. And then now it's an item that you could drag to their character sheet, and they have it on their character sheet. Um, Maybe it's a quest item that you want to give them. That's a special quest item that is a scroll or a note, or maybe it's I don't know, candle. I don't know. There's all kinds of stuff in here, right? So I think containers, and then like maybe it's the Holy Grail, and it's like a magical cup. You can come in here and use that and make an item with that. Or there's actually like lots of creatures in here. Creatures magical creatures that you can make a token out of one of these things. You can make a token out of like slimes, reptiles, unholy creatures. You wanted to make like some kind of demon or devil. You can make this the instead of goblin ninja, you can make it a demon. So there's all kinds of stuff in here that you can browse through. You can't upload to here, but it is an actual good resource if you wanted to like look for different types of icons and stuff like that. There's not everything in here, but there's a decent amount. So that's basically file management in a nutshell. We want to make sure we're putting things in that assets folder, and then probably either your folder or an appropriate folder. So that way it's organized, and then going forward, uh, you know, they're easy to find and easy to sort through for everyone else, and it doesn't clutter things up. If you accidentally come in here and upload something straight to the assets folder, go ahead and finish your game, and at the end of the game, maybe, or during the game, say, hey man, I did that. I uploaded something um, to the assets folder or something like that. Can you know, make a note of it. And then once you're done with the game, I'll delete it or I'll move it, to your folder. And then that way the image is still on the server. If we want to keep it, whatever, we can move it then. Um, you guys won't once you upload something here from this interface, you can't delete it. That's the downside. Like if I came here and uploaded a picture of this, barrel, right? Like say I put barrel's token here. Now that that's there in the Foundry interface, I can't delete that. I have to now go into the server and, browse, and this server is all, command line interface. I have to go and delete that file now. It's not a huge deal. I can do that, but you know, there's no way for you to easily do that, unfortunately. That's kind of a protection to keep people from, or keep mods from messing up and deleting files and stuff like that. Alrighty, so that wraps up the assets and file organization tutorial. If you have questions, let me know.